Can you hear me? Okay. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Shin Do-hyun. Welcome to Gyeonggi Palace. Before we start our tour, let me give you a brief information about Gyeonggi Palace to help you understand better. As you probably all know, there are 5 palaces in Seoul: Gyeongbok, Changdeok, Changgyeong, Deoksu, and the last one, Gyeonggi. The meaning of the palace is the place where joy flourishes. The Gyeonggi Palace was also called Seogwol, which means West Palace, because it is located in the west part of Gyeongbok Palace, which is the biggest palace in Korea. This palace was built by King Gwanghae in 1623, right after the war between Joseon, Korea, and Japan. There are many reasons why King Gwanghae built this palace. However, the biggest reason is that the location of the palace was believed to have strong spiritual power of a king, according to geomancy theory. Under the chaotic political situation due to war, King Gwanghae wanted to strengthen his political power. At this point, we can see how urgently he needed political strength, relying on a logical theory. However, King Gwanghae could not live in Gyeonggi Palace even for just one day because of King Injo's restoration. It is quite ironic, isn't it? Now let's get inside the Gyeonggi Palace. By passing this small gate, here we encounter some empty space that seems like park rather than the palace. And far over there, we can see some small area with a few buildings gathered together. Are there anyone who visited other palaces of Korea before? If you visit there, what you can see is quite different what we see right now. Then, can you guess what happened here? It will be really interesting to find the behind story and traits of Gyeonggi Palace. Actually, Korea's sad pre-modern history is related to this damaged palace, even though the palace name means joyful place. I will introduce 2 buildings of Gyeonggi Palace. One is the main gates of the palace, and the other one is the main building of the palace. First, let's talk about the main gate. The name of the gate is Hungwamun. In Seoul, there is another building with the exact same appearance compared to Hungwamun. If you go to Shilla Hotel, another Hungwamun is standing there. To know why there are 2 same gates in the 2 different places, we have to understand the era of 1910s to 1940s. Korea was conquered by Japan from 1910 to 1945. During that period, not only Japan ruled the land of Korea, but also plundered and damaged our cultural assets. And Gyeonggi Palace was one of them. After the conquest, Hungwamun was sold to Japanese shrine, which was built for a Japanese officer named Ito Hirobumi. And the Hunghwa Gate was used as a main gate of the shrine. After the independence of Korea, the shrine was closed, of course, so the gate moved its place to Shilla Hotel. So around 1980s, the Korea government replaced Hunghwa Gate to the place where it should be. So the gate in front of Shilla Hotel is a replica of the gate that once stood in the palace. There is another building that experienced the same trait as Hunghwa Gate. The building that you're watching right now is called Sungjeongjeon. This is the main building where national ceremonies such as Crown Prince marriage take place. By this fact, you might understand how important the building is. The most important building in the place where power of a king flourished, a perfect target for Japan to ruin, isn't it? In Dongguk University, there is a Korean traditional building called Jeonggakgon. This is the original building that once stood in the palace. Like Hunghwa Gate, the Sungjeongjeon was sold to Buddhist temple by Japan, and then it moved to Dongguk University, which is established or founded by Buddhist Foundation. One difference between Sungjeongjeon and Hunghwa Gate is that Sungjeongjeon is not returned to Gyeonggi Palace yet. It is almost time to finish our tour. Before the end, I will show you an ancient painting. The picture you're watching right now is called Seogwol-do. As I mentioned earlier, Seogwol is Gyeonggi Palace. Unlike these days, Gyeonggi Palace of past times look much more bigger and denser, not only a place for a king, but also has some buildings for officers to work. It is quite amazing that the palace was this large at that time, and on the other hand, it makes me feel sad that the palace was ruined and not be restored yet. The palace restoration project is stopped due to the lack of budget. But if we keep having interest in Gyeonggi Palace and in history, one day we could not prolong the palace of past glory. This is the end of our tour. Thank you for your listening.